coming to you live from the news app here at the Sawikand. On Facebook, we're live on TV3 Ghana and on DSTV channel 279. My name is George Queen. Top of the stories is that 4 Ghanaians to be sent to U.S. over internet fraud charges. And coming up this morning, court dismisses suit filed by Ken Oforiatta intended to prevent the OSP from declaring him a wanted person. And MPP stalwart Bache Jako says MPP's early flag bearer elections are fueled by greed. We have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 20 minutes. If you spend your time with me, you can also get interactive with us. We're live on Facebook as TV3 Ghana. And let's begin from here. The fire involving multiple wooden structures behind Ferro Fabric Limited at the Tema Heavy Industrial Area has been confined by the Ghana National Fire Service. And according to the service, an overhauling operation are currently underway to eliminate all remaining pockets of fire and ensure complete extinguishment. No casualties were recorded, and we will bring you more details in our subsequent bulletins. And now to one of our headline stories. 4 Ghanaians are to be extradited to the United States of America to face allegations of internet fraud. They are Isaac Odro Boateng, Inusa Ahmed, Derek Van Yeboah, and Patrick Kwame Asare. And government, through the Minister of the Interior, gave the go-ahead to face criminal charges. A statement signed by the Interior Minister addressed to a magistrate of the District Court wrote, a requisition has been made in accordance with the provisions of Section 7, Clause 1 of the Extradition Act 1960 to issue a warrant for the apprehension of the said Ghanaians. The latest action has sparked controversy on social media on the lifestyle of some Ghanaian celebrities, most of who flaunt their wealth in the public space. In 2024, the American Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI, met with the Economic and Organized Crime Office, Yoko, following the arrest of some individuals involved in a $100 million romantic scam. Well, the legal team will keep tab on this very development and furnish you with updates in our subsequent bulletins. Another Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has blamed the delays in the delivery of U.S. visas and passports on logistical challenges. According to the minister, although the processes for issuing visas and passports have improved, the persistent issue has to do with the final stage of delivery by the United States Postal Service. He was addressing Parliament on Wednesday after the closure and reopening of the Ghana mission in Washington, D.C. Take a listen.
Following the COVID-19 pandemic, the mission adopted a fully online mailing system for visa and passport dispatch, managed by Fred Kwarteng. Under this arrangement, applicants were offered delivery options via FedEx and USPS, for which they were charged a whopping $29.75 United States dollars. Additionally, GTC also aids applicants in completing visa and passport forms for a fee between 60 and 100 United States dollars per applicant. Mr. Speaker, it will interest you to know that 99% of all applicants utilize the services of GTC, meaning 99% of all applicants paid the extra $29.75, which was not approved by this House. Investigations reveal that GTC dispatched between 150 to 350 visas and passports daily. Therefore, on average, about 250 visas and passports were dispatched daily by GTC. Mr. Speaker, this implies that yearly GTC dispatched approximately 62,500 visas and passports. Mr. Fred Kwarteng has therefore been raking in an estimated $1,859,375 United States dollars annually for courier services alone. Mr. Speaker, the mission's IT infrastructure has been fully reconfigured to enhance security and service delivery. All the unauthorized access points have been removed. A live chat system has been introduced, and official email accounts have been updated to promote professionalism and responsiveness. In addition, 3 new phone lines have been added to reduce call congestion. 2,277 real-time online chats, and 543 email inquiries were handled within a 2-week period. To further improve performance, the mission is also rolling out a mandatory training program focused on professional client service and work ethics. Pursuant to these directives, the Internal Investigative Committee has to date interviewed 25 locally recruited staff. A few individuals have since tendered their resignations. The remaining staff are scheduled to be interviewed within the week. A comprehensive report, including findings and recommendations, will be submitted upon the conclusion of the inquiry. Mr. Speaker, while the visa and passport issuance process has significantly improved, the primary challenge remains mailing delays, largely due to logistical failures by the United States Postal Service. Approximately 490 duly issued visa packages mailed on 6 and 9 June 2025 were not properly scanned, leading to concerns among applicants. In response, we have directly engaged USPS to mitigate future disruptions. Measures implemented include staggering mail dispatches to a maximum of 200 packages per day to enhance tracking and delivery efficiency. Mr. Speaker, may I stress that contrary to propaganda out there, no new recruitment has been carried out at our Washington, D.C. mission. All the replacements are distinguished senior foreign service officers of many years of impeccable experience and integrity. Our decisive reset intervention, by not looking on, as happened in the past, has sent a very clear message that the Mahama administration will not be complicit in dubious schemes that border on corruption, conflict of interest, abuse of office, and cruel exploitation of clients of our missions abroad.
Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa is the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. If you just tune in, you're watching the Body News, the first bulletin of the day on TV3. In more news this morning, the Minister of Works and Housing says $6 billion will be needed to tackle the flooding issue in the country. Members of Parliament have therefore charged the Finance Minister to release funds to the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, to stock its warehouses with relief items as the rains set in. The MPs raised the concerns following briefs to the House by the Interior and the Works and Housing Ministries. And you can get interactive with us, engage us with your comments on these stories that we've aired so far.
Mr. Speaker, the challenges are enormous. And like we said, since March 2025, we have put in the measures to make sure that we procure the necessary equipment and logistics to staff the warehouses of NADMO so that we'll be able to deal with these disasters when they occur.
No amount of engineering will succeed without enforcement and civic responsibility. Developers must comply with planning laws, citizens must stop dumping waste into drains, and MMDAs must enforce building codes diligently. The ministry is also collaborating with the Ministry of Education to integrate flood awareness into school curricula and promote youth-led sanitation campaigns. Public infrastructure must be matched with public discipline. Mr. Speaker, finally, the ministry estimates that an investment of approximately $6 billion is needed to implement comprehensive flood control measures across the country.
Go to NADMO now and it is possible there will be no relief items at the warehouse. Sometimes, all government, we wait until there's a disaster before finance will release money for NADMO to go and buy relief items. So at the time they will be moving in to do the search and rescue and need assessments, what would they send to the people? And it becomes a problem. So, Mr. Speaker, I think the government should look at providing financial support to NADMO now. The rains are not done with us yet.
Anytime the rains are in, we have a problem. Mr. Speaker, things are never right. For how long are we going to do this as a country? And the Minister for Works and Housing says something, and for me, that was very instructive, that no matter the engineering, no matter what we do, if we as citizens of this country do not do that which is right, Mr. Speaker, we will come back year in, year out and sing the same song. Our district assemblies must be up and working. And so the Minister for Finance must do the needful.
And now the Human Rights Court has dismissed the interlocutory injunction filed by the former Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, to restrain the special prosecutor from declaring him wanted. Lawyers of the former Finance Minister on March 27 filed a motion asking the High Court to order the office of the special prosecutor to remove his name from the list of wanted persons, among other reliefs. Here's a report by Lord Idwasari.
On February 12, the Office of the Special Prosecutor announced that Ken Ofori-Atta was a fugitive from justice, citing his failure to respond to invitations for questioning over allegations of corruption and corruption-related offences, including the release of funds for the construction of the National Cathedral. This followed what the Special Prosecutor described as the former minister's unwillingness or failure to honour an in-person invitation to the office. The former Finance Minister then sued the Special Prosecutor and the office for declaring him wanted and a fugitive from justice. The suit averred that the OSP had no statutory powers to use media briefing to declare a person wanted or fugitive from justice. Ofori-Atta subsequently filed an injunction motion seeking to restrain the OSP from further publishing his name and photographs on its social media pages. He prayed the courts to also order the institution to immediately remove his name from the OSP's list of wanted persons and prevent future reference of him as a fugitive from justice without judicial approval. In his ruling on Wednesday, however, Justice Kwame Amoako noted that the former Finance Minister's motion failed to meet the requirements for the grant of interlocutory injunction. He thus dismissed the injunction and awarded a cost of 5,000 cedis against Ken Ofori-Atta. Meanwhile, the Special Prosecutor has issued an Interpol red notice against the former Finance Minister, and extradition proceedings have begun with the relevant authorities to secure his return to the country. Family and lawyers of the former Finance Minister have condemned the move by the OSP, citing that he is unwell and had communicated to the institution. Lord Idwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
Now let's still on legal-related issues. Nominee for the Supreme Court Justice Hafizata Amaliboba says the president has administrative rights to sanction his appointees when they fail to comply with asset declaration directives. Responding to a question by the minority leader during her vetting, she denied assertions that the president usurped the powers of Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice. Take a listen.
According to Justice Hafizata Amaliboba, some guidelines must be set through a constitutional instrument to limit the president from potentially exceeding his powers.
I'm aware that the president is a member of the executive.
That is so?
Yes. So,
the head in that.
And so under the circumstances, if any action is taken in respect of his executive members, then I have no issue with it. But obviously, he cannot cross over, even though a judge is a public officer, to impose sanctions on the judge because a judge has failed to declare their assets.
What is therefore your proposal regarding how to limit the president's role in terms of ensuring constitutional fidelity in respect of his own appointees when enforcing this asset declaration law?
The only limits I see under the Constitution, since it's the Constitution, is for a CI, setting out guidelines. That is the only way I see a resolution to the problem.
She said there is no violation of constitutional right when students are compelled to practice different faiths in schools.
Rights are not absolute. Every right has its limitation because you were made aware, you were informed that when you come to this school, this would be a code of conduct, and you chose to go to the school. So it's not a compulsion, it's a voluntary act, because before you came to the school, you were told that this is a Catholic school, would expect you to go to church on Sundays, would expect you to do this. And you took that voluntary decision to attend the school. And so I do not see that it is compulsory.
In empaneling of judges, she believes the Chief Justice performs administrative functions, and such functions should not influence the decisions that are taken on the bench. She, however, believes in capping the number of judges who are appointed to the Supreme Court. However, such should be done until the backlog of issues at the court are resolved, including the jurisdictional functions by the Supreme Court and even the number of cases that each judge handles at the court. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Parliament.
Well, in more news this morning, a former MPP presidential aspirant, Bache Jako, has criticized the party's National Executive Committee decision to hold early presidential primaries before National Executives elections. At an extraordinary NEC meeting on Tuesday, June 17, the party set January 31, 2026 as a date to elect a flag bearer. Bache Jako, who expressed surprise at the decision, described it as a nonsense and suggested it might have been driven by greed.
Idea pa na sintia idea ye na fedi musi ye mutu nsi ditrasi mi bisa why na o si dan a o ye roof no ansa no abe foundation why na o si dan a o ye roof ansa no abe na foundation.
Why would anyone construct the roof before building the foundation? It's either some people don't understand the game or they are being selfish and greedy. Why would you elect a flag bearer before electing your grassroots executives? If you understood the dynamics of campaigning, what is the point of electing your flag bearer at this time? There are 88,917 human settlements in Ghana.
So what is campaign to see? What a campaign a sepa? Who could you flag bearer at this time? There are 88,917 human settlements in Ghana. The who can say when you flag bearer ne? Say onchi oma pro any Ghana for kasa in all these community human settlements. Obey 10 years. And some go to near Yenina.
If you elect your flag bearer today and expect him to travel to engage Ghanaians in all these human settlements, he would need 10 years. However, if you have 210,000 executives from polling stations like we have, they can cover the entire 88,917 human settlements within 2 weeks. As the party we are selling first and foremost, before the presidential candidate.
There is no way one person can win an election for any political party. Every polling station.
Well, these are the concerns of presidential aspirant of the MPP, Bache Jako, on the early decision by the MPP to hold their presidential primaries. Let us know what you think of this. We are active on Facebook as TV3 Ghana. Engage us with your comments, opinions, and reservations, and we'll surely read them and share them to the rest of the world. And now the National Identification Authority, NIA, is warning the general public to desist from allowing institutions photocopy their Ghana cards when engaging in their services. The authority expects institutions to subscribe to its verification platform for proper verification of the applicants rather than resorting to short card verification. The authority, in a press briefing, set the record straight, centering on 4 thematic areas, including updates on registration centers, booking process, ID verification, and some key public concerns. As of June 18, more than 17 million Ghana cards out of over 18 million cards printed have been issued to applicants. 822,440 are left uncollected. The NIA is currently undergoing auditing to know whether or not these applicants are dead or alive.
Some may have passed away. So we are going to do that audit, query the system, and then we understand the real situation so that those that are alive and kicking and have not replaced the cards, we can get the cards to them. So we can also update our system. And those that are not alive, we clear the system and make way for those that are alive.
The general public was cautioned against allowing institutions photocopy their Ghana cards when engaging in their services. The authority says it does not regard such institutions.
Do not allow any institution to photocopy your Ghana card. They are supposed to approach us and get onboarded. So we give them the data for them to do proper biometric verification. We do not accept institutions that are doing ocular verification. We can only get here if the public refuses to give them their physical Ghana cards for photocopies.
The NIA expects to open premium centers in all regions across the country and not limit them to only the capital to ease congestion. Just so you know, you are not supposed to pay at time when you visit any district office of the NIA to get your Ghana card. But if you visit the premium centers, that's when you're expected to pay something. But that's how we end the morning news. For more news updates, you'd want to log on to our website, s3news.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, TV3.gh, for all the latest updates. My name is Josh Quinn. In a world where you can be anything, just be kind. It costs nothing to be kind. Have a good morning.